Wellness Appreciation Week to bring it all together, how your health really plays into being the best in your business and having that overall success. And the book is really about health advocacy, and again, as an advocacy organization, that makes sense. So it all plays into one, mind, body, spirit. And if you have not had the opportunity to hear Dr. Harold, you are going to be pumped and energized after this Friday. He is amazing. I've known the Heralds for many years. When they had a small office off of Route 1, they have purchased a office center, and to see that transition over the years and the growth that they've had is just so inspiring. And they really are about the health and well-being of the community. It's not just about them. So it's incredible. I'm so honored that you are taking the time this morning to talk with us. And without further ado, Dr. Harold. Woohoo!
That was better than Steve Harvey, girl. Thank you. Listen, thank you guys so much for showing up. Whether you are a part of the chamber, whether me or Joyce just called you and said, look, you better show up here because we gonna be here, right? Either way, we love you. We thank you so much. I am excited to be here. I do want to thank the chamber. I'm just gonna reiterate, Angela, I've seen your growth from when you first became president of the chamber. I remember I was still doing the local groups and the networking groups. The chamber is an amazing entity to be a part of. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was talking to Phil the other day. In Maryland, we have the second largest chamber in the whole state of Maryland.
Yes.
So, hey, how you doing? So if you can think about all the different counties in Maryland that we have, and all these other, counties, you got Montgomery, you got Prince George's, you got Anne Arundel, and we have the second largest chamber. So it is an amazing organization to be a part of, and we've gotten so much support and resources from them. So if you're not, how many either entrepreneurs or business owners or just raise your hand. There you go. All right. So that's amazing. So yeah, definitely just reach out to them and go from there. Harford Haven, Kevin, is any member from HYPE here? HYPE, was that like a group?
HYPE is, yes, that's a chamber group, and it stands for Harford Young Professionals and Entrepreneurs. So
awesome.
You covered it in the entrepreneur question.
Awesome. There you go. So thank you, HYPE. Okay, let's get HYPE this morning. All right. And then Harford Haven, Kevin and Megan, his wife is not here, but this is a small minority business. It's not just, a studio. It's an amazing space that he's creating for events like this, for creatives, for, talents to come out. If whether you want to write a book or you want to host a podcast or you need to do a photo shoot or anything like that, please keep Kevin in mind. In fact, this is actually where you are actually sitting in the vicinity where the Dare Champions podcast was actually started and where it's hosted. So what I want to do is I want you all to pull out your phones real quick, and I want you all to connect with Kevin and I on social media. So you are all Dare Champions. Listen, if you all woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, right, and you wanted to come here either to see me or to hear about health, I'm considering you a Dare Champion. So shrug your neighbor if they're sleeping and tell them you're a Dare Champion, okay? You are a Dare Champion. So I want you to go to IG and look up Dr. Rosh DC if you're not following me already. And then also on YouTube, Dr. Rosh DC. It's just DRROCH DC and DR. I told you I'll get ready. So it's DRROCH.
I'm slow.
That's okay. Hey, we have multiple generations here. That's what the book is all about, right? So DRROCH DC, and then you'll see my face looking like this, right? So listen, I consider you all Dare Champions. And real quick, before I get started, I saw the business owners raise their hands. How many different industries do we have represented? Just shoot out, just if you did raise your hand, what industry are you in? Are you in, healthcare? Good. Awesome. We got a barber industry here. We got hospitality, restaurant, okay?
Law.
Okay, we got law. What you got?
Consulting,
okay.
IT.
IT, okay, that's awesome. Any government, workers or officials? Okay. Oh, what you got?
Finance.
Finance, okay. What you got? Steph?
Local government.
Lo- Okay, that's awesome. So we've got a pretty wide variety. Anything else? Did we miss anything?
Healthcare.
Healthcare, okay, girl. All right, then, girl, you in the right place.
Decorators too.
What was that?
Decorators.
Oh, decorators. Okay, so electrician. There you go. Okay, listen, this is what is that? Plumbers. There you go. So listen, guys, this is a networking group right here. All right. Matter of fact, meet us here next week, 8 o'clock, and we gon' y'all didn't know, but we just started the networking group. Okay. Okay, so for those that may not know me or you're meeting me for the first time, I do apologize in advance for my energy at 8 o'clock. My staff says, man, what do you drink in the morning? And I'm like, you know what? This is how I roll, And we open at 7:30, and my staff is like, oh, Lord, he's singing through the door. But that's just, that's how God made me, So I've just learned to embrace it. So 16 years, I've been a chiropractic physician. I'm the owner of MSI Integrative Healthcare. That is a comprehensive healthcare facility where we do everything from chiropractic, physical therapy, regenerative medicine. We're helping people out of pain. We're helping people, we're helping to reduce we're helping people really avoid surgery, avoid living on pain medications, living their best life, getting to where they need to go in life, in their health, at wherever they are in their journey. So we have an amazing group of healthcare professionals, and I would be remiss if I did not introduce my amazing wife who also helps me, Joyce, Dr. Joyce Harold. Please give her amazing. She has been helping me throughout my whole journey, as Angela said. Like I just had 2 hands, and I said, look, I just want to heal the world, but I only got 2 hands. So, I started working for other chiropractors, and then I took over a practice right over here on 730 Baltimore Pike, and then now we've grown to purchase the Winters Run Professional Center, and then from there we expanded. We have a second location in the Overly area, which is around that Parkville, Overly, right on 695 and Bel Air Road, and we're always continuing, to expand. So, let's talk about building generational health, right? Which health is wealth, right? So let's talk about building generational health, and especially because this is a business setting, let's talk about how we can kind of use that in the workplace. And what I want to do is I want to share my why on why I wrote the book. During COVID, that's the first time I realized, man, you know what? When everything was shutting down and I was not able to do the thing that brought me joy and brought me fulfillment, which was helping people, I said, man, you know what? What if this is forever? What if I'm unable to lay hands on another person, and help them get better and help them feel better? What can I do? And I was just praying like, God, you know what can I do to reach people? And I had all these ideas and all these things going on, and just what I thought about healthcare and at the time. And then, you know what? I'm gonna try not to preach this morning, but there is a scripture that says, write a vision, make it plain, and the Lord just told me, look, just write it down. So I just started pinning all my thoughts, putting it together, and then I got with other people that would help me organize it, and then lo and behold, we got Dare to Live Well, and the urgency was, I saw so many negative trends happening in the healthcare industry, and I'm sure those that are in healthcare can also agree. There's great technology, like we're doing amazing. All these different industries that we mentioned, there's so much great technology that's going on that's making our lives better. However, the quality of life is what we really have to look at when we're talking about healthcare. And you have to ask yourself, what is the quality of your life and how is that? So when you look at national indicators, because of course with my master's was community health promotion, so you've got to look at national and you've got to look at research to see, okay, well, how is this community ranked, and how is the US ranked, and how is the country ranked? We are actually, guess which out of the 10 highest income countries, where do you think the US ranked in 2024? There's 10 of the highest income countries. Where do you think we ranked? What number did we rank in terms of healthcare and provision? Where did we rank? 2. Number 2. I'm sorry. Number 1 is the best, right? And number 10 is the worst? Where do you think the U.S. ranked? 8. 8, okay. 6, okay. Anybody below 5? As in 4, okay. There was a great poet by the name of Ricky Bobby that said, if you're not first, we rank last, people. We rank last, right? Out of the 10 most highest income countries, I knew you had to remember Ricky Bobby, right? So it says people in the U.S., listen to this, we die the youngest and we experience the most avoidable deaths. We experience the most avoidable deaths. Another research done by the World Health Organization, a subsidiary of the World Health Organization, it says that about 48% of all deaths are linked to behavior and preventable causes, right? 48% of all deaths, and then out of even more countries, we ranked 34, I think out of a list of 50, in terms of life expectancy at birth. And it's even worse when you look at the disparity with African Americans and Latinos, and you really look at that, especially with this as a minority-owned business, if you really look at the disparities as well, it's even worse. Right? So the urgency in why I had to write this book and why I wanted to do all of this was because I'm looking at all of this and I'm not just seeing it in the research. It's one thing when I was doing my master's and I saw it in the research, but when I'm actually laying hands on people and I'm sitting in front of people that are out of health insurance coverage or are underinsured or don't have health insurance, or they were disappointed because they were led to an early surgery, or they were disappointed because they're still dealing with pain and they're on their 5th surgery, or they, are just living on medication, or, so many people have come to me frustrated. And, most people, it says, on average, it says, for most people to see a chiropractor, it usually takes them about an average of about 1.5 to probably 2 years, because we'll just try, we'll try to get over our own pain, and then we'll try to do this, and then we'll try to do our own things, and then maybe we might take some over the counters, and then when things really get bad, people are like, oh, right, now what was the name of that crazy chiropractor that I met when we were there at 8 o'clock? What was his name again? Right? He had this funny sounding name. What was that? Okay, let me go see that guy, because now I can't go to work, right? Now it's really bugging me, right? So that's usually around the time when people come and see me. So by the time people come and see me, they're frustrated. Now, I'll give you another chance. All right, so we failed the first test. Here's the next test, okay? The U.S. spend twice as much as any other nation on healthcare, about 18% of our gross domestic product on healthcare, more than any other nation, right? So how much money did we spend per person, or grand total, for those that know the answer, because I just did this the other day. So I know 2 people know the answer, but how much did we, if I become Bob Barker, this is The Price is Right. Y'all remember when they lined up the little, palm olive, and then you gotta line up, all these other products, and then you gotta figure out, okay, well, which ones rank higher, which ones rank lower, and who comes within the best price? How much money did we spend in total on healthcare? In the U.S.
3 of us, so it's 3.
It's 3 of y'all, okay.
I ain't gonna tell you what the other person is.
Okay. So just throw some numbers, come on. The U.S. total spending on healthcare, come on, throw me some numbers. Boom.
3 billion.
3 billion? Okay, we got 3 billion. Is it higher or lower? I'm Bob Barker. Is it higher or
I
lower?
would say higher.
Higher, come on, then give me a number higher. Come on, y'all.
5 billion.
5 billion, okay. Come on. Carlton, throw a number
I
at
have
me.
no idea.
Oh, come on, Carlton. That is the wrong answer. Security, escort this man out. Thank you. That was the wrong answer.
$1.
$1. You know what? How did the person that always said $1 won? I don't know. All right. Does anybody want to say anything more than 5 billion? Real quick.
6 trillion.
6 trillion. Okay. Man, you almost got me. 4.5 trillion. And that was in 2022. So that is $13,493 per person that we're spending on healthcare. So my question to you is, I'll say it again, $13,493 per person that we're spending on healthcare, and that's more than half of any other nation. So we can think about this a couple of ways. Think about this as a business owner, since we're all business-minded, right? If you are spending twice as much on baking cakes, and you've got 5 other cake. We got some restaurant owners here, right? So let's just say y'all baking a nice Jamaican rum cake, right? Or you're doing something else, and you're spending twice as much in baking a product or creating a product than any other company. but yet you rank the lowest when people say, hey, when they sample all of these cakes and these cookies, you rank the lowest. Wouldn't you want somebody to tap you on your shoulder and say, hey, you know what, maybe we need to change up the spices, maybe we need to, do this or do that or whatever. So that's what's going on in healthcare, and that is my urgency, y'all. That is the urgency, and that's the urgency that I want you to know. Think about it even as a business owner, and then think about it like this. If I, being a wealthy man, such like Carlton over here, or Jasmine back there, and I said, okay, you know what, Angela? Everybody didn't know this. I feel like Oprah, but everybody, before you leave, you're not only leaving with a book, but you're gonna leave here with $13,493. Right? Everybody's gonna see like, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, right? So what would you do with that money? And how much healthier would you be? Or how much healthier would you be? Or would you just do the same thing that the country's doing and allow that money to just go to waste and spend it on the wrong things and have the wrong focus on where the money should go? Right? So that's the urgency, and that's the dire need of what's going on. So I felt compelled to write the book so that I could empower people to take charge of their own health care. You have more than 13,009, whatever it is, right? You have more than that. You actually have the decision to make your own health care decisions. And you can't rely blindly on anybody else without doing your own research and at least being informed and empowered. And that's why I wrote the book, because it's not just affecting people, but it's affecting generations. This is not anything new. This is not anything new. It's been going on for years. Yeah. So what are we going to do? And I don't want you to think that this is their problem or our problem or their problem over there, because it affects everybody. If the country is spending that much on healthcare, even if it's not affecting my community, it's still affecting our tax dollars. So we still have to come up as a solution with everybody to talk about what can we do. So I want to share with you some major themes from the book, and I want to just share some of the things that I want you to kind of take away with from the book. But you all do get a book. You don't get 13,000. I was just kidding. Just in case somebody's tapping me. The book is worth that. Amen. So we've got to first realize one of the first major themes is that we're all connected. That means that you can affect change to the people that are closest around you. And when you think about it, that's already happening. You can affect change to the people that you love the most. Now, you can affect them either positively or negatively. So keep that in mind. You can affect them either positively or negatively. In the back of the book, I don't know exactly where it is, but I want you to do this at the end. In the appendix, there is a healthcare on page 142. Turn to page 142. So on page 142, there's something called a healthcare balance sheet. So when I was first, actually, who does finance in here again? That's Ms. Rose, right? So I was actually thinking about this because I always kept hearing, oh, health is wealth. And of course, during COVID, everybody was getting in the stock market, trying to get rich, and the whole GameStop stock, debacle, right? So I was thinking about it from financial perspective as a business owner, and I was thinking, man, well, healthcare is the same thing as finance. We have assets in healthcare, and then we also have liabilities. There's things that actually work to our advantage that's going to make us live longer, right, Caleb? And then there's also some things that are negatively impacting our health and might cut off some of our life expectancy. So what I want you to do is I want you to fill this out, not now, but just do that later. And as you're filling out the assets and liabilities, one thing I want you to see is I want you to see the generational connection first. I want you to see, when you look at all of the assets and all of the, so let's say an asset is, I work out twice a week, right? That asset, I want you to write the person, or write maybe who might have impacted you. You know what? I remember my father would always be working out. So, or, if I play sports, well, my dad plays sports. So you'll write dad, okay? And you'll just go down the list. Now, on the liabilities, when I'm stressed out, I go downstairs and I sneak in the kitchen. I have this little piece of cake that I keep in the counter. I'm not telling on nobody. But who did you see do that? Okay? Was it Aunt Gertrude? Was it Aunt Mabel? Right? Every time I'm stressed, you know what? I might drink more And when I'm stressed, because I remember my uncle used to do that. I would see him drinking, and then I would start to drink more every time I'm stressed. That's a negative liability, right? Because that's a negative coping mechanism in dealing with mental health. So I want you to write down and see the negative, and I want you to see the negative, the positives. Look at your life as a health balance sheet. Just if you're going to a bank to apply, and see where's the generational connection. And I want you to realize that our decisions have lasting consequences. Whose life are you impacting? Whose life are you impacting if the people that are the 5 closest to you had to write a list, would you be an asset? Would they consider you an asset or a liability? Right? And it's a hard conversation that we have to have with ourselves. And then, okay, since we're talking about in the workplace, how are we an asset or a liability to our coworkers? Right? Are we encouraging them to live a healthy life? Are we encouraging them to do physical activity? Hey, you know what? It's lunch. Come on, let's take this walk with me. It's just going to be 30 minutes. Okay. Are we doing things like that, or are we just, oh, you know what? Okay, you want coffee? 10 sugars? Okay, I'll get you one. Right? Like, what are we doing to perpetuate these things that are going on? So just keep that in mind. So one, you've got to see the urgency, right? You've got to see that.